So we're continuing the story by Christian Beverly. Squeaky finds Breen a home. We're going to start the story. I wanted to rub against the woman's leg, but I was afraid of pushing her over. She seemed like string and so fragile. She smelled like sugar and flowers. Breen rubbed against her and meowed. She cooed, and her bony hand brushed against Breen's fur. I sat near the counter and watched Breen and the woman. "Oh, I used to have a pretty like you," she whispered. "I miss him." Breen's tail flicked back and forth. "You look like my old human." They kept as they were, the woman petting Breen and Breen peering up at the woman. "Time to leave." Mouse. They kept as they were, the woman petting Breen and Breen peering up at the woman. "Time to leave," a younger woman said. She burst into the store and her shoes clacked on the floor. She tossed her hair back and looked at the older woman. "Doesn't this look like my putter?" the older woman asked. The younger girl had long and full hair and the same face as the older one. "Yes, it does," she said, "but Putter had to go elsewhere when you went to the nursing home." "Was she your human?" I asked Breen. Oh, she still had that faraway look. The woman really liked Breen, but the younger one didn't seem to. Breen shook his head. "Before I came here, my human's kitten put me in the carrier with my favorite blanket. My human had been having issues moving well, so they said she had to go away, but I couldn't come along, so they left me outside and I couldn't get out. Some nice humans brought the carrier in, but didn't know I was in there. I'd never been without my person before then, and then I never saw her again." Breen stood up and began moving towards the back of the store. I followed, flicking my tail back and forth. When we reached the door, Breen continued, "They noticed that the carrier was heavy and found me. There was a note attached and they were really mad about it, but I don't blame my human. I just hope she's okay now." "We can find you a human, Breen," I said, "and I'll help you find a second forever human." Breen nodded his head. "I believe you, Squeaky." There, Squeaky just walked by us. Yes, he did. So Squeaky can help anybody find a family. Okay. The days became weeks, but didn't become months. Breen didn't want to weave through people's legs. He wanted to watch from above on the catwalk. He'd rather window shop for a human than let them pick. And I was by his side the whole time. Holidays were busy, particularly the week before Christmas. Parents and children and people adorned with reindeer hats and sweaters flooded the store with cheer. For once, Breen didn't want to climb the catwalk. A family had walked in and smelled like cookies and gingerbread. I wished I loved the smell of those treats and of holiday cheer, but they made me itch and want to sneeze. Breen, however, loved it. He sniffed the air. I like these humans. I sat at the counter and watched Breen curl his tail over his back and meow. The human kitten squealed before rubbing his coat. He buried himself into the great cat, and Breen nudged his head against the little kid's side. His parents glanced back at their son before moving through the shelves. Breen and the human kitten stayed with each other. When his parents returned, they found Breen curled in the little human kitten's lap. The adult humans paused and looked at Breen before looking at each other. The group of them sat down, and Breen arched his back and rubbed hands with his head like he was already a part of the family. It had taken a while for me to find a human for Breen, but I knew this was a forever one. The end. Wasn't that a beautiful story? So we want to say thank you to Christian Beverly for writing that beautiful story that is in the first 9 lives of Squeaky the Bookstore Cat.
Perfect.